Jon Gruden essentially extended the very reason the Raiders haven't been successful in 30 years. All right, 20, since the last time he was coaching back in 01, 02, 03. And that is impatience, impetuousness, lack of stability. That's what the problem with Al Davis was for years through the second half of the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, was that Al Davis could not keep with a plan. It was draft this guy. We love this guy. Oh, this guy's a bum. Get him out. Hire this guy, this head coach. He's going to be perfect for us. Oh, he stinks. Get him out. It was always a new GM, a new head coach, a new quarterback, a new draft pick, the shiny new object. It was always something new and next. And here was Jon Gruden extending that with the Raiders. Apoplectic is that it was always something different. The Raiders didn't like a draft pick, get rid of him. Didn't like a position coach, get rid of him. Turn over the staff, turn over the roster, turn over the draft picks. Just keep going. And at some point, that's exhausting. At some point, that becomes exhausting. And that's exactly what hurt Al Davis in the final years of his life and the final years of him owning the Raiders. There was no stability. There was no consistency. There was no long-term plan nor vision. There was, this isn't working, fire him. This isn't working, cut him. This isn't working, sign him. This isn't working, draft him. Not how you build long-term success. And Gruden had extended that. Gruden had become that. He had become exactly what his idol was in Al Davis. Impatient. The Raiders season is effectively over. It's effectively over. There has rarely, if ever, been an NFL situation where an interim coach takes over and then suddenly the team takes off. It rarely, if ever, happens. The times that it happens are few and far between. The times that it happens are catching lightning in a bottle. I don't think that this is one of those times. So unfortunately for a Raider fan base that was hoping that this was the next step in the growth and this was the next step in the organization and that they were finally going to get back to the playoffs, this time under Jon Gruden, sorry, it's not going to happen. Assistant coach Rich Bisaccia is going to take over. I highly doubt Bisaccia takes over and somehow this team is steered through a great finish and ends up with 11 wins and in the playoffs. The AFC is really competitive right now, and that division's really competitive right now, and I have a hard time believing Bisaccia is the guy that comes in, stabilizes everything, and then suddenly the Raiders are a playoff team. And that's unfortunate because Mark Davis gave Jon Gruden a ton of cash to fix it, and he didn't really fix it. The first 3 weeks were fine. The last couple of weeks, not so much. They're 3-2 in a division where the Chargers are 4-1, the Broncos are 3-2, and the Chiefs are lurking at 2-3. Chiefs have played pretty terrible football to this point in time. We don't expect that to happen the entire season. In an AFC where the Ravens are 4-1, the Bills are 4-1, the Bengals are a surprising 3-2. We know the Browns are very good at 3-2, and the Titans are 3-2. It's going to be tough sledding for the Raiders, and yes, I think their season's over. It's always really tough for a guy to take over midway through the season and get some type of bounce, to get some type of full buy-in. And all of those little things that you need to know about being a head coach, the time management in-game, the use of timeouts, how you use your special team situations, game management during the week, what you say to the media, what you don't say to the media, what you tell your guys, what you don't tell your guys, who starts, who doesn't start, all of those things Bisaccia now has to do It rarely, if ever, works midway through a season where you get the bounce. It's usually what we're seeing at USC, where it's now dead men walking and you waltz your way through until the end of the season to where then you can start fresh. So it's unfortunate for a Raiders fan base that has a brand new gleaming stadium and had some early good returns, but now the season's crapped out. I think for Mark Davis as well, do I think he's a good owner? No, I think he's pretty awful. I think he's, honestly, would you trust him running a Panera? The answer is no. And yet he's running $1 billion NFL franchise. Why? He won the gene pool lottery. He won the Zygote Powerball. He got to come out of a womb that it was impregnated by Al Davis. I can't even believe I described it that way, but yes, that's the way babies are made. He got to come out into this world as Al Davis's son. And what he has done with that is, not much. He did get a new stadium built in Las Vegas. That's good. He also uses a cereal bowl to cut his hair. So who knows? But what Mark Davis was trying to do with Jon Gruden was touch the past, was capture nostalgia, was go back in time and let's do it the way we used to do it, the good times. And I don't know if you've ever gone back to a class reunion, let's say. Perhaps you've gone back to your college campus. Perhaps you've gotten back together with your high school buddies or something. And you think, man, it's just going to be like the way it was, man. It's going to be awesome, man. We're going to do it again. And then you get there, like, not really the same. Not really. Oh, yeah, right. You got to call your wife and FaceTime with the kids. Yeah. And you got to go to bed because you got to get up early for the flight. Right. And you're like now 2 beers and you crash on the couch snoring. Yeah. Oh, and now you're at the pool, but you got your shirt off, and that's a big old boiler, and now I can see the hair on your back. And this isn't nearly as fun as it used to be when we used to rage in college on spring break. You know, it's always so dangerous to get stuck in that. And I'm not saying I'm above that. I certainly can wax nostalgic, as you know, about NFL jerseys and NFL history and everything that used to be in the sports world. You see that X on Instagram, you see that X on Facebook, you're like, man, if we were together today, it'd be different, man. We should get back together. And then like you DM, you're like, oh, they're terrible. oh God, no. You know, you can't go back. And Mark Davis, who's not a creative, Mark Davis, who's not a leader, Mark Davis, who's not a visionary, Mark Davis, who's not a great football mind like his dad, didn't have much else. He had nostalgia. He had the way it used to be. And he went and chased Jon Gruden for years chasing down Jon Gruden to give him a $100 million contract. Now, I'm not saying that Mark Davis should have known about these emails or should have known Jon Gruden said these things privately. I mean, you'd think you'd kind of know the guy, but then again, who knows? You know? And Mike Tirico and Tony Dungy were on NBC on Sunday night saying that they know him personally and he's a great guy. So, you know, who knows? I'm just saying that it always felt like a misguided attempt at building a winner when you're like, let's bring back the band. Let's do it again, man. Reunion tour. I'll give you all the money. Like if Jon Gruden needs all of the money to come back, is that who you want? No, not going to do it. Mark, 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 I'm not interested in doing it. I don't want to come back to coach. No. How much? Well, let me give that some thought. That's never who you want to hire. You know, the Rams didn't dig up like John Robinson's grandson to coach. They went after Sean McVay. You know, and that seemingly has worked out. The Seahawks didn't try to dig up like old Chuck Knox. Let's get Knox back on the sidelines. No, they went after Pete Carroll. That seemingly worked out. Looking for guys who have a plan and a program and are leaders and are accountable and are organized and all the things that you need to do to win in the NFL. Chasing the guy down to give him the most money because he used to do it for you way back when is almost never, ever, ever the winning move. And so now, do you trust Mark Davis to get this one right? Well, the answer is obviously no. The answer is obviously like you wouldn't trust Mark Davis with your Uber Eats order. Be like, no, he's definitely screwing this up. No, that is not what I ordered. No, why would I get the tilapia from IHOP? That's not my order, Mark. Like, if you saw Mark Davis roll up with your Uber Eats, you'd be like, this is definitely wrong. This is absolutely wrong. Or totally cold. So, do we trust him at winning this next hire? Of course not. Which is the sad part, because I've always said this. Look, as somebody that loves NFL history, I love it when the Raiders are good. It's just better. It's cooler. It's awesome. And this first 4 years of Gruden has been some good, some bad, a real poo-pourri at times. And I don't think it was ever going to be great. You know, I said this when he was hired. We did this on the show. I'll never forget. Do you think Jon Gruden will finish his 10-year contract? And the consensus on the show was he'll finish the contract to collect all the $100 million, but it won't be as head coach. That he'll only for a certain amount of time be the head coach and then move into the front office because he doesn't want to coach anymore. That it was definitely about finishing the contract for the cash, not for the success of the actual organization or finishing what he started or what have you. Yeah, he lasted 4 years as the head coach, which is kind of probably what you would have expected before the contract began. It always had a shelf life.